Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity has some big plans in store in Franklin and Hampshire counties in the coming construction season. I spoke with their executive director, Megan McDonough, and Walt Kohler, Habitat's Building Committee Chair and a longtime volunteer, to get the story on those projects and more.
Well, the deadline to apply to be a Habitat homeowner is February 22nd for these 3 homes. But this process starts by learning about what Habitat does in the community. So we ask people who are interested to come to an information session. They can learn how to apply, learn about our eligibility criteria. We look for people who are willing to partner, have an ability to pay, and have a housing need. So those are our sort of basic broad criteria.
I want to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but I want to bring Mr. Kohler in. Walt Kohler, you were just saying, first I got to ask you, because the number, it's just such a great number. How many houses have you volunteered on, worked on, and gotten built so far?
I'm currently working on my 12th and 13th, and we are designing and getting permitting for the 14th and 15th in Amherst.
That's great. That's a lot of folks with homes that they wouldn't have had otherwise. You're the guy that has to be out there getting folks organized, making it happen, getting hammers in hands, and it's a lot of work, but it's got to be very satisfying.
It's very satisfying. I've been retired for 10 years now, and after retiring, I decided it was time to give back. And a good way to do that was through Habitat. So I got more and more involved over the years, and basically now I'm pretty much running the sites.
I got to ask you, because there are a lot of places you can volunteer, and no disrespect at all to Habitat for Humanity, but there's a lot of places where you can be like a museum guide or something like that. You're not out up on a ladder. You're not directing a lot. Might be a little easier, but I gather that wasn't for you. What attracted you to Habitat?
Well, it was my interest in always building things and also wanting to be physically active as long as I can. Unfortunately, I just had my shoulder replaced, so I can't do quite as much right away, but I'm going to get back into it.
You can direct with the other arm, right? You know, so great. Megan, let me ask you, let's go into some real particulars. And I know this is kind of the eyes glaze over stuff, but folks got to understand there are income criteria. And you said, we're looking for involvement. Folks are going to be hearing from the committee chairman on building, because they got to be part of the process.
Yeah, that's why I said willingness to partner. So for every Habitat homeowner, we ask that they put in 250 hours of sweat equity. And that sweat equity can mean that they are out on the construction site with Walt swinging a hammer. It can also mean that they are coming to events and helping us promote Habitat. It can also mean that they are going to educational classes about home ownership. So we look at the whole process of becoming a homeowner and have them put in their hours to really understand and to get involved in making that happen.
So somebody who might have a physical concern or an inability to do labor doesn't have to feel like they're not out of the picture. They can still be part of this.
Absolutely. We will always get the sweat equity to match the abilities of the person who applies.
And I got to ask you, Mr. Kohler, sweat equity is such a great phrase. Yeah, I mean, you really understand what it means. Anybody, when they make something themselves, the appreciation for it and the feeling, you can't feel better than that.
Right. Well, the homeowners learn a lot about their own home by participating in building. So when there's some problem in the future, they're a little more capable of being able to understand how to fix it, hopefully fix it themselves or know where to go. But the other volunteers feel rewarded because they're working alongside often the prospective homeowner as well, and they see the impact that it can have on the family.
Megan, I don't know that you want to get into specific dollars and cents at this point. Feel free if you do, but there are guidelines for folks to fit into your system, right?
Yeah, one of the common misperceptions is that we give away homes. But instead what we do is we pair people up with an affordable home at an affordable price with a mortgage that, I'm going to use the word affordable again. So we look for people who meet a minimum income, and for these projects they have to earn at least $30,000 per year, and then a maximum income that is at 60% of the area median income. So that depends on your family size. It goes up as you have a bigger family. But that gives us the ability to assess whether they're going to be able to repay a mortgage, and that home ownership is the right thing for them at this time. We really believe that there should be a diversity of housing options in our community, and we want people to be able to make that step into the middle class if they can through this avenue of homeownership.
I know, okay, you mentioned affordability. The number I saw was these homes would be priced at or below $139,000. That is affordable, underlined with quotes around it, super unbelievable in a place like Massachusetts, and especially Amherst and Greenfield as well, but maybe to a lesser extent. That is really affordable for most folks.
It is, and that's because of the dedication of the community. People are giving their time, materials, and that's what makes it affordable, is the fact that we have community support. Volunteers like Walt, but also community and business people who we have insulation contractors who give us a discount. Right now, the electrician is doing the work completely pro bono on our current house, and that really makes a difference in us being able to offer that affordable price.
And we've been working with Smith Voc on to help. Their plumbing department has actually been installing the plumbing in our homes recently, and they've been doing a great job. So that is also an extra benefit. It's good training, but also it helps us out a lot.
Okay, you may both want to chime in on this. I think I'm going to start with Walt, but you tell me. Somebody's watching this and says, you know what? I'd feel good doing something like that, helping out a little bit. Not too bad with a saw or a hammer. What do they do? Who do they get in touch with? How do they see if they can be part of actually physically making these homes happen?
Well, we can always find jobs for people with almost any skills if you're willing to work. Sometimes it's a little hard to get it started right away, but we'll find something to work to be able to do on the work site. Megan can talk better about the process of actually signing up.
So the first thing someone needs to do is go to a new volunteer orientation, and we do those twice a month in our office in Northampton. And so you can sign up at our website, pvhabitat.org, for the next orientation, and then we get you set up so then when you go to the site and you meet Walt, he'll tell you which way to swing the hammer.
Well, we thank you for coming in. We wish you well with these upcoming projects. Megan McDonough, Walt Kohler from Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us.